Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, so I think I may have taken care of the issue with the microphone. There was an update on the software, not just for the computer, but for the microphone. So I didn't realize that the software update would not include the microphone. You have to do that individually. So let's just hope that takes care of it once and for all, and that it doesn't continue to drop like it did the past couple days. Yeah, I think that should fix it. I hope so anyway. So let me see who's here first. Um, hey, Big Mama, I just saw you there. Cherry Traveler, thank you so much. And hi to you too. Lydia Washington, thank you so much for being here. Mary H. Vinny Blair. And let me see. Hi, Joyce Anderson. Um, okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'm so glad that we made it over 61,000. Although, with the luck I've been having lately, we might be under 61,000 again. I'm not sure. We'll see. I must be walking around with one of those kick me signs on my behind or something on my back, rather, because every time I turn around, I get kicked in the behind again. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I know you can't see me, but figuratively speaking, do you see a sign on my back that says kick me? Woo! Anyway, down one more. Okay. Let me see here. Woo! All right, all right, all right. Let me stop playing. Okay. There we go. So this is today's thumbnail. Okay. Uh what's wrong, Lydia? Hi, let me see. Judy Matassi is here. Ania 13 Paul. And as I said, Big Mama's in the house. Sharon Skinner, thank you so much for being here. Okay. Uh oh, now you know us Scorpios. We're so moody and secretive. All right. So, who wants to know? It's been this ongoing question: where is Meghan? And listen, you all, for the life of me, I can't figure out what the big deal is, unless they're just trying to distract from something. But anyway, let's talk it out. Harry has had an extraordinary week. It doesn't seem like it, and I'm going to tell you why I believe that is the case, is that as much as they accuse the Sussexes, Meghan in particular, Harry to a lesser extent, as much as they accused them of being attention seekers, I just said yesterday, if you recall, I just said yesterday, there doesn't seem to be a lot of photos or videos. Usually, there's all types of amateur videos which I'm able to share with you, right? I don't have much. I comb the social media. As you guys know, remember how many times have I made a video that says best best version, right? I had one for Dusseldorf. I had one for what's the other one? I believe I had one for The Hague and for a few other events and places where I find the best photos and the best videos and I put them in a compilation, right? Sometimes the compilation is 15 or 20 minutes long. I don't have anything. I don't have much. Now, one of the reasons why I think that is so is because of all places that the Sussexes have gone, that Harry has gone, Harry went back to, let's just say, for lack of a better word, his African roots, where his whole attraction to Africa, his whole connection, what grounds him so much in life, it started in Africa. And because of the love and respect that people in those communities that he's touched, that respect that they have for him, they do not share that. I mean, come on, everybody's got a smartphone, everybody's a photographer and a reporter, but yet there seems to be a lack of content available. There are reporters, that are in these various places that will report these stories for their, news services. However, it doesn't seem to be a lot out there. It doesn't seem as though there's that many people that will breach the peace and the warmth of a situation and start snapping photos and making videos, right? But it's very covert if they're doing it, but I don't think that's the case. I think they respect his privacy, that they want to protect Harry and shield him from the rest of the world. Someone just sent me a PayPal. Thank you so much for that. Let me see. Of course, I don't want to say the name, but I'll just give the initials RS. And I don't mean Royal Sussex, but thank you so much for the PayPal. Oh, very nice. And I don't know if you have a message attached to it, but I have not, and I know y'all tired of me saying this, I still have not figured out how this app has changed. I cannot find a flipping thing on this except the name and the fact that I received a PayPal. Other than that, can't really make this thing work that well, and I do apologize for that. But oh well, there's that old baby boomer creeping up, huh? I'm gonna have to find a 12-year-old to help me connect my VCR, set up my VCR. So yeah, that's what I think, is that there's just not. Oh, thank you again. I don't think there's a lot of material available, not much more than what's official. So I'll let you make of it what you will. Now, there has been a few people that have posted on their Instagram and a few people that posted on their Facebook. I'm sure I don't use Facebook so much these days, but I just suppose they want to protect Harry's privacy. That's the only thing that I can think of, because I thought that I would be able to share so much more. Another barometer that you can use is the fact that Alicia Kay, doing these tours, she usually posts 3 or 4 videos a day sometimes. And I noticed that for the most part, she's been posting 1, sometimes 2 videos in a day, and that's it. So that is what I think. I thought it was just me, and then I said, no, it can't just be me, because I don't think I'm doing anything different. But you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, because I'd rather Harry have that peace of mind and privacy when he goes someplace that he is so connected to. And really, it's not about what I can do with the material. It's more about the communities that benefit from this visit, and they have benefited greatly. Harry has been, let's see, ever since he was a teenager, he has been part of the community. And even though he was away for 6 years, It's just like a best friend. You pick up the conversation from where you left off or where you started, sometimes 30 or 40 years ago. You just pick up the conversation. Now, that is definitely an indication of a great friendship, is when you can pick up the conversation where you left off 30 years ago. I mean, yeah, of course, you talked in between, but my point is, it's like you've never finished that conversation. And hopefully, it's a long time before you ever have to. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that there must be a great deal of respect for Harry, that even like the fireside chat. I mean, I definitely saw what appeared to be press there, but only a handful of images, and of course a couple of videos, but not much more. Not much more. Just like you don't see how Harry gets from point A to point B. They have protected that information about how he's traveled. And I do know, and I cannot find the video, but they were asking someone from South Africa what Harry's itinerary was. He said, I can't tell you. And they were like, well, do you know? He said, yeah, I know, but I'm not going to share it with you. So it was on a need to know basis. And in spite of the reach that the tabloid media believe that they have, um, nobody's talking. Nobody's talking until it's time to talk. So for that, I am very grateful, for Harry's sake. And also, when it comes to back in the United States, back in Montecito, and of course, as we know, and this has been the case for some time, in Montecito, there are no leaks. And so there hasn't been much by way of any breaches to their privacy there. No neighbors selling out and all that kind of stuff. Nothing. I mean, there's surveillance cameras all over the place. So far, nothing. It is so rare that there's any observation of their comings and goings. So even though, and I can recall that the media, the tabloid media, that is, they were making such a big to do about how are they gonna, and their privacy, and they're going to one of the places in the world. Blah, blah, blah. It has not bared any fruit, has it? It has not. I repeat, it has not really come to fruition that there's been any great breach of their privacy. Not when Lily was born. Nothing. I mean, it's so rare that it happens. Yeah, there's been the odd images of Harry riding his bike or something like that, but Meghan went to a restaurant. Who cares? And so, this again, now it's the Scottish Daily Mail, which of course is probably still the old, what is his name? Lord Ruthermore, furthermore, whatever his name is, the Lord Nappyhead, as I refer to him, the racially ambiguous owner of the Daily Fail. Lord Nappyhead, they have been in litigation with the Sussexes. And so it should come as no surprise that this war against Harry and Meghan, for whatever reason, continues. Intriguing reason why Prince Harry going solo. I would understand this better if it wasn't a thing where Harry actually goes places by himself. Meghan has gone places by herself. She went to the East Coast by herself. She went to that place, I believe it was in, what was it, Ohio or Indiana? That late night talk thing. She went by herself. There's a lot of places that Meghan goes alone. Of course, with armed protection while she's here in these United States. Same for Harry. So, other than that, what is the distraction for? What is the diversion for? It's not like this is new. Also, we have gone months without seeing Meghan, even when she was in Narnia. And even since they've been here, we have gone much longer without a sighting of Meghan. So, what makes this different? Are they trying to disrupt? Are they trying to rattle her cage and get her to appear? Because I think what's going to happen is that it's only going to make things in the future that much more impactful because they have created this furor about where is Meghan. I wish the same people would have been asking the same questions about Kate Middleton all those months that she disappeared. I wish there was that much smoke for Kate, but there wasn't. Instead, it was back off Kate, leave Kate alone. Kate is not doing well. And I don't mean physically, mentally, she wasn't doing well because Kate had to tell the tax-paying public who have been paying a fortune for her comfort and protection because she had to tell them where she was and what she was up to. Something that I believe that they're entitled to know since they're paying for it. But that is just my opinion. Okay. Harry's humanness and humanity shines through. That connection shocks the royal family and threatens them for some reason. Why, I wonder. I have been trying to work this out in my head all day. What is the fuss about? What is the fuss about? Cookies and cream, absolutely. And that's why it doesn't make sense because Harry is working. And we know from the trip to the climate week, Harry was on the phone with his kids every chance he got. These are the most formative years of a child's life, right? And Harry is away from his children. He's made it very clear that the best gift I have is my children. I don't need material things. I have my family. He, on the heels of that, they have come up with this ridiculous narrative involving the Sussexes' relationship, I suppose. Or I think, but you know what? It's been mostly directed toward them as business people, as entrepreneurs, and as philanthropists, as though there is some. What's even worse is they need to believe that it was their idea that that Harry and Meghan realized that they should not ever work together again. These are very, very high achieving individuals. Harry and Meghan are high achievers. And even though academically Harry was not some, great intellectual, obviously there is an incredible intellect right there with Harry. And he's also very hardworking. He's very disciplined. They are both very disciplined. They're very hardworking and they're very dedicated to each other and their family. So there's no there there. Exactly. Exactly. And it's just like the Ministry of Hacks said the other day, what in the world are you all distracting us from? What is this diversion about? What are you distracting us from? What is it you don't want us to pay attention to? I mean, when I heard that, I was just like, hi, Nithalando. Thank you so much for being with us. When I first heard that, I was just like, Okay, well, that makes sense, but it's very typical. So I didn't think much of it, but maybe it's that big that they need to create all this smoke so we can't see what's really happening. Hello, Jules Ryder. So it was not okay for us to complain about where is Kate, but it's okay for them to ask where's Megan rather. Baron, you read my mind. It's all just simple jealousy over Harry and Meghan doing their thing, makes them mad. Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Jules Ryder. This is what I was hoping was to get some clarity today. So because Harry has been having an exceptionally grand tour with all of the work that he's been doing, switching from subjects and topics and agencies almost seamlessly, right? And so, for that reason, Harry, being the global statesman, they need to throw attention on Meghan. And maybe, I don't know. Oh, God, I wish I understood this better. But I think you're onto something there. I think you're onto something. It has to do with what Harry has been doing so well. Are you saying a magazine comes out with her ARO? Are you saying magazine or what's that there? An American Riviera Orchard magazine? I would love that. I would love that. And I what I think about Oprah with the O magazine, why that was such a good idea, is because Oprah made a lot of people very rich with her image on the cover of all of these papers and front pages and such. And when Oprah decided to brand her own magazine, to brand her own image, she was actually outselling a lot of legacy, well established magazines by putting herself on the front cover, on the front page, week or not week, but month after month. That was a stroke of genius. O Magazine was selling extremely well. Now, of course, magazines of all stripes have further declined. But my point is, O Magazine, at the time when it came out, was selling like hotcakes. I mean, they could not print them fast enough. They could not keep them in the supermarket. What a stroke of genius. If you're going to make money from my image on your magazine, why don't I just start my own magazine? I would love that for Meghan. Oh, yes. Thank you very much for that. Okay. So, and let me go back to this one more time. And what I'm haunted by, and I don't like it, I think it is very misogynist, is this fading image of Meghan. I don't like it. I do not like it. I do not like what it implies. I really do not like what it implies. Even if I don't understand their purpose for that directly, I still do not like it. That bugs me. Oh, it's quarterly now? Oh, well that that's good enough. That is good enough. There and plus O Magazine has a an online presence, so but yeah, quarterly, I like it. I like it. I think it probably suits them just fine to do it quarterly. Okay. Um on the heels of a very successful Colombian tour where Harry and Meghan were both, and can I just say that the Colombian tour, the theme of it was really more about Meghan than Harry. I mean, Harry did have his Invictus component, but It was because the vice president of Colombia, Marquez, because of her um, love and appreciation for one woman who has worked so hard to empower other women, especially when it comes to women of color. Everything about Colombia was such a good fit for everyone involved, including Harry, but for everyone involved. For Meghan, is work that is near and dear to her heart. Same with the Vice President Marquez. As for Harry, he definitely had a big connection to the Invictus athletes, veterans, because Colombia was the first South American country to join Invictus, or to compete with at Invictus. And then, of course, there's the children. There is the community of African descent, one of the largest outside of Africa. There's all of that. There was so many things. It showcased, should I say, it was an opportunity to showcase the culture of Colombia. And of course, the vice president having a dual role as a cultural minister. Um, like I said, it all works so well. So surely that was problematic for the houses of Windsor. And then Harry takes this epic solo tour. And because of the big success of Colombia, it makes it very easy for them to make this case that there's some reason, some unknown reason why this has happened. Well, they think they know. They feel like Harry has come to this conclusion. He's had an epiphany. Oh, life is so much better for me. I'm received much better without Meghan. When the truth is, whether they're alone or together, the unique thing about their partnership, about their relationship, their marriage, their business interests, their philanthropy, is that whether they're alone or together, they make a huge impact. Either way, you're not going to hear someone yelling out loud, "Oh, she's on the other side of the street. I don't want to see Charles. Here, take these flowers and give them to her." You're not going to hear anybody do that. They'll be like, "Well, I really wanted to see Meghan. I see her over there." But they love Harry too. Very different. So again, they put the big splashy thing tonight. They just did this again tonight at the Daily Fail. Harry goes solo. And please do not bother reading the article. There is nothing new. There is nothing new. I didn't read it. I just grabbed the image. I did not read it because they don't know. They know that they don't know, but they don't know that you know that they don't know. They don't know anything. It serves them to keep this narrative going. It brings the clicks that they want, and it also fuels the derangers, and they need that connection with the derangers for sustenance, for the clickbait aspect. They need that. And then it will give their royal reporters something to talk about on those weekend platforms they have. Now, let's not even mention Nigeria. Let's not even mention South by Southwest. Well, let's just say the trip to Texas. Let's not even talk about that. We don't need to talk about them going to Jamaica. Um, None of that stuff is really that important right now. Let's just focus on the past month, the past 30 days or less. Harry goes to 1805 by himself. He went to the Concordia, the Halo Trust, Clinton Global Initiative, Travelers, UN headquarters, Wellchild, and Centabale. Well, you can take, let's see, one, two, three, four, five of those. That was within a 72-hour period. Okay. So five of the eight that they have there was in a 72-hour period. And by the way, I don't even know which article this came from. I got this from someone's Twitter. Um, but that's a lot. That is a lot. Um, and yet, even with all of this, Harry drops a video with the interview of the NBA player, right? Even with all of this going on, that interview drops. Harry, the global statesman, is all over the place. And I said, what, like a week ago, I said, for some reason, they love to say that an educated, empowered Black woman, they don't understand what they're saying. It was all word salad. Remember, I said that? Word salad, word salad. They love to say that. Well, later on, I'm going to share with you where they're using that trope on Harry, but in a different way. In a different way. But Black women is always word salad. Kamala, word salad. Meghan, word salad. Wow, you're a member? How did I miss that? Thank you, Jules Ryder. I just noticed that. I did not realize. Thank you so much. You are talking about Royal Sussex, right? Thank you so much. And remember, if you want to support this channel, it's very easy to do. You just get a membership. They start as low as $4.99. Now, there's a few people that have gone all the way up to the, I think it's platinum level. But either way, it goes a long way to make this channel possible. So thank you. All right. So yeah, that was a lot that Harry's done in a very short period of time. The Clinton Global Initiative, that speech, where he pulls out his cell phone and uses it for a prop, that speech definitely resonated, which is why I find it so hard to believe. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me stop lying. It's just unfortunate that someone who will live an entire lifetime and never have as much reach as Harry or Meghan decides that they cannot really understand what he's trying to say. All right. Anyway, came across this photo. I love it. Meghan is the queen. She is simply our queen. That is it doesn't need any qualification. She just is. She just is. And the Sussexes clearly are the most popular members of the royal family. They are the most popular royals on the planet. And that is due in part to this vicious hate campaign. They're making a lot of money for a lot of people. And I cannot wait until the day I wake up and I find out that very quietly and very discreetly that they're billionaires. You know, you cannot trust to believe anything that the tabloid is pushing because in the same breath of Harry goes solo, which they don't know. They don't know what Harry's doing. Yes, he is solo, but Harry goes solo as though this is clearly defined as the future of what's happening with the Sussexes. They are in business together with their Archwell Foundation, and they also are connected through the um, the Archwell Productions. Well, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. They're in business with their Archwell Productions, and they have definitely have their partnership with the Archwell Foundation. And oh yeah, what is that other thing? They were married in the sight of 1 billion people on the planet. 1 billion people bared witness to their nuptials. That's the other partnership. So yeah, Harry is on a trip by himself with his patronages. So what? So what? Okay, let me go on here. Happy Independence Day to Lesotho. 200 years since the founding of that beautiful nation nestled in the mountains in Africa. Lesotho celebrates 200 years. So, um, wait, I think they deserve some applause, right? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not for me. Mary H says part of wishful thinking. I know. I know. I hate to say it, but it's going to just make it that much sweeter. It is going to make it that much sweeter. Absolutely, Beverly McCaskill. It was an amazing speech. It was so great. You know how great it was? The tabloids wouldn't touch it. That's how great it was. But people were talking about it for days, for days. Clips from that speech all over the place. That's how great it was. And yet, they want to downplay how great Harry's, um, I guess, engagements have been. Um, let me see here. Let me show you this. Let me show you the. I don't think I've shared this with you before, but here's a little clip of the excitement surrounding Harry at the United Nations.
Prince Harry, how are you enjoying your visit?
Africa, please, one more. You were in Colombia. Can you speak about it? About your visit to Colombia?
Prince Harry, turn around so we get a shot.
Can you come here, Prince? Oh.
Harry, it was like the Beatles. It was like ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. It was like the Beatles had shown up at the United Nations. That's how huge this was. You've heard the stories. You've seen different articles, various clips, and such. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And now, of course, let me give you a little portion of this one.
My lock screen is a picture of my kids. What's yours? These children and thousands more meant the world to their families. The beautiful faces you see before you, their smiles, their dreams, all lost. All too soon, and all because of social media. It's why we launched the Parents Network, a global community that provides crucial support to parents whose children have suffered from the harmful effects of social media. And it is because of them that we at the Archwell Foundation are committed to this issue. Through trauma-informed practices, our network helps parents come together to forge strong bonds, offering healing support through community. This safe and free-to-access peer support not only
Magnificent. Magnificent. There's another interview that's coming up with Harry soon. As you can see, I don't recognize the setting, but I saw somewhere on Twitter where they were saying that Harry was, that there was some special interview of some sort, a sit-down interview. And that was all that I found. I don't know who's going to interview him. I suppose this is taking place in South Africa. I cannot be for certain, but I cannot wait to see it, whatever it is. But yeah, it looks like he's going to have a sit down with someone. And as you know, he did not sit down with Jimmy Fallon, although he did have a little cameo appearance on the show. So we'll see. We'll see what that's about. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, just a second. I'm taking a look through to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I'm going to a couple of my sources to see if there's anything new. Let me see here. Okay, not there. Let me check one more. Okay. Yeah, not quite. But if something changes, I will let you know. You'll find out in real time if I find something. Well, yeah, someone is going, it says right here, the way Prince Harry's team will tell you, wait, there is more. That is what the caption is for this. The way Prince Harry's team will tell you, wait, there is more. That is very cryptic. I'm not sure what that means, but that's the caption that goes along with this photo. And it's just this one squatty that seems to have found it. So I don't know, you guys. Just wait and see. We'll see what it's about soon, I hope. But so far, like I said, I don't recognize the setting. So I am convinced that that this is something that will come out in the next day or so. So watch that space. Watch that space. That's all I can say. Oh, what's that? Oh, did you? Okay. I wonder if that's what it's about. Those lazy ones over there. Yeah, Jacqueline, is it Jacqueline Deer? Thank you very much for your comment. Okay. Well, anyway, I can't wait to see it. Wonder who's doing the interview. Here is a photo from the oh gosh, what was that event? Anyway, from day before yesterday, I think it was. Here's just one more photo that just seemed to be one of the ones that I missed. I, for some of those accounts, I don't like to share the person's name because I don't want the derangers going into their accounts. So I'll just leave it like it is. Now, this might be one of the things that is gnawing away at them. Maybe what it is. For the first time ever, the Earthshot Prize is set to be held in South Africa, and traveling across the pond for the prize giving in Cape Town, none other than the Prince of Wales, Prince William. Oh, is that the same William that was told to stay away from Belize? Remember that? They had to cancel that little excursion to Belize, he and Kate. It says right here, our land, our livelihood. Prince William, leave our land. Leave our land. And you know what? They didn't show up. Let me show you the vast difference here. William has absolutely no relationship with the people of Belize. None. But yet, they were going to disrupt a recreational area in this community, in this indigenous community. They wanted to disrupt it and use it for a helicopter landing and a photo op. And the people protest. They did. They protested the idea of it because nobody from their government, nobody from Kensington Palace, nobody said anything to them. And there wasn't any type of relationship. There was no type of affection, no connection whatsoever between that community and, of course, the very opportunistic Cambridges at the they were the Cambridges at the time. There was no connection. So they said, please do not come here. And they didn't. Now contrast that with this glorious welcome. There's Harry, like some kind of folk hero, or more likely, like a relative, like a relative. Part of the family, part of the fabric of the community. Because for years, Harry has not only written the occasional check, he has not only sponsored all types of events and funding opportunities for them, but he has literally been there every time. And of course, when he earned money from, oh gosh, what was it? Was it for Netflix or was it the book? I think it was a book that he wrote a big check. I don't remember the amount. But the point is, it's not just that he's throwing money at the community, that he has been a part of it over the years since he was a teenager. So there's a connection there. We love Prince Harry. Instead of leave our land, we love Prince Harry. Vast difference. And this is the kind of stuff that keeps them up at night at Kensington Palace. Now, let me get to Ingrid. Ingrid Seaweed, whatever her name is. That Hanna-Barbera character gone rogue. Yes, when the artists Hanna and Barbera sat down and started creating cartoon characters that they could use to entertain the masses, who knew that one of those characters would go rogue? Huh? Went from being a cute, rather clumsy character to this firebrand of hostility toward Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And I mean, I'm telling you, she really makes me sick. Do you hear me? Sick! She makes me sick. I could just puke. You have to hear what she said earlier today.
Something, but I wasn't quite sure what he was intending to do. So Harry's message is still not very clear. It's still cloaked in sort of California speak. So I feel that he needs to get out more, because when he does speak, when he's actually giving a talk, he's very eloquent. But from this Lesotho trip, I couldn't quite get what he was trying to do. Maybe he was just trying to raise the profile, something, but I wasn't quite sure what he was intending to do. So Harry's message is still not very clear. It's still cloaked in sort of California speak. So I feel that he needs to get out more, because when he does speak, when he's actually giving a talk, he's very eloquent. But from this Lesotho trip, I couldn't quite get what he was trying to do. Maybe he was just trying to raise the profile, something.
Now, I want you to take a look at the photo on the left. I was trying to do a little screenshot, for effect. I like to share screenshots. I was trying to do a screenshot, and I did it over and over and over again because you could not see her eyes. I don't know if it was because of those ridiculous bangs. I don't know if it's because, you know how it is when a person is lying, not that I'm saying she was, but if she were lying, you know how when people are lying and they can't seem to look you straight in the face, or they keep blinking, they start having these weird facial tics. I couldn't seem to snap a photo of her with her eyes open. And then finally, after so much effort, I finally got one. And that's the one you see on the right. But how is it you don't understand what he's saying? Harry's mission, his goal, is to bring awareness to HIV, AIDS, to end the stigma. As you know, in African countries, there was this huge, like, epidemic of AIDS in various communities. And there were people who could have been treated that went untreated. There was no awareness of it. And mind you, there's enough of that here in the United States, especially in the African American community. It would break your heart to hear how people in the Black community thought, oh, well, I remember this girl said, I thought AIDS was something that was connected to gay guys that lived in big cities. She didn't think that it was something that could happen to her. And because of that lack of awareness, there's a lot of people in the African American community who did not see themselves as someone who could be infected. They thought that was for young white men in the inner city. And so the awareness there, you could mirror that same thing here. So it's not just because they're in Africa, it's because people did not associate that disease. There was even some people that believed that, oh, Black people can't get that. I mean, it was horrifying to hear some of the misinformation that was out there. So who knows how many lives have been affected, how many lives have been saved because of Harry and Prince Aso and their campaign, right? And also because of Princess Diana, who Harry, of course, is following in her footsteps. All right, that's just one thing. Then, of course, there's education, youth empowerment, all of the things that we talked about just yesterday in relations to Harry's presence in Lesotho. How dare she sit there behind that ridiculous wig with those horrible bangs and say that she doesn't know what message he's trying to convey because of all that California talk. Because of all that California talk. That right there is something that she is doing for the sake of her employers at GB News. Whatever little 100 pounds or whatever she gets for sitting in that chair is worth trying to degrade Harry for some pocket money. It's really disgusting. She is one of several disgusting people that show up on GB News. Well, I don't want to say the name, of course, because it might be different on the thing there, but oh, you said help, please, can't post a message. Anyway, the initials are SS. Thank you very much for the PayPal. Now, as I said, I have been having so much trouble opening up these, but I'm going to try and see if I cannot do it this time. I really have got to sort this out. So, yeah, I can see the first part of it, but I don't know how to get to the rest of it. But again, I thank you for the contribution. But let me try one more time and see if I can work this out. Anticipation is making. Oh, you said I can't post messages anymore. All right. Oh, I see who this is. Oh, okay. I'll see if I can fix that. Tell you what. Yeah, I'll see if I can fix that for certain. And you have a what do you call it? You have a membership, don't you? I thought you did. But yeah, I'll see if I can fix it. No worries. I won't be able to do it right now, but I will see if I can fix it. Wow, okay, so I was able to see your entire message. That's a relief because I have been having trouble with that. But thank you so much. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was able to see the entire message, and I will try to fix that for you. All right. So, as I was saying, Ingrid Seaward, whatever her name is, it's Seaweed or something. It's just really degrading. She degrades herself with this nonsense. And she was one of the 4 people that was pranked by Josh Peters, a YouTuber who pranked her. Let me see. Well, a YouTuber, Josh Peter, proves royal experts lie about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle in new stunt. Now, that was back in March of 2021. Paid royal expert exposed in brutal YouTube prank. Now, in the United States, all 4 of those people would find it difficult to find work. One of those people had a wonderful job at a major American network. And of all people, Oprah Winfrey was instrumental in helping her get that gig. And that person no longer works in the United States. They show up in little obscure places with that horrible high pitched voice. Y'all know who I'm talking about? With that horrible high pitched voice. But she doesn't work for a major American network. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of things we don't get right in the US. But one thing we don't tolerate is that type of journalism. All of them would have been fired and probably would never work again. But no, they're perfect for Fleet Street. So there's that Hanna-Barbera hybrid creation. A YouTuber tricked royal experts into sharing their lies about Meghan and Harry on camera. If you don't remember what this was about, they asked them to give their response to the Oprah Winfrey interview before it happened. And they asked them various questions, some of which didn't even make sense, but they had an answer for everything. I'm telling you, the grift is real. Richard Fitzwilliams, Ingrid Hanna-Barbera Seaweed, and of course, those notorious arbiters, Victoria Arbiter and her father, Dickie Arbiter, who was once a private secretary to Queen Elizabeth II. Victoria Arbiter literally grew up at Kensington Palace, probably knows every inch of the place. And yet, there she was, along with the other three. I'm telling you, the pitch of her voice is so high and so sharp. I thought for sure I'm sterile. I thought I had become sterile because of her. Yep, all of them. A deception. And she lost everything, including her eyelashes. She said the stress was so terrible. And if you're wondering, how much did that prank cost? A whopping 300 pounds each for them to pretend like they were able to respond to something that no one else in the world had seen aside from Oprah and the camera crew. That's it. Oh, and let me remind you one more thing. The camera crew, Oprah, swore them to secrecy. She said this is a very monumental moment. And she cautioned them not to leak. It wasn't a threat, but she asked them to respect the privacy of Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. I don't doubt that there was any danger of a leak in the first place because those people are professionals. But I'm just going to say again, it makes me very proud as an American that they have been able to come over here seeking refuge from all of the nastiness that they left behind. And it's been a good call. It has worked out ever since. It has worked out ever since. And they're doing extremely well. One of the squaddies posted, liar, a person who tells lies, has a reputation as a liar. There you go. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. And lastly, because I am a professional and because I don't want any trouble from, YouTube. Let me just say this. Snoop Dogg had a response to someone who disrespected the memory of Kobe Bryant and disrespected one of his best friends while the world was still grieving his loss. And he said a few words that describe the way that I feel about that Hanna-Barbera character, having listened to that nonsense. If you know, you know. If you don't know, oh well. But I agree 100. 10 toes down. I'm in agreement. I am in agreement. It was fitting at the time, and I think it fits right now, especially where that hybrid of a Hanna-Barbera and Homo sapien is concerned. So, if you know, you know. All right, moving on. The dynamic duo. I made this video earlier, and this video is yet another clapback to this idea that the Sussexes are somehow no longer seeing eye to eye or not connected or whatever the case may be. And so using that AI image, I made the thumbnail of those two Avengers, superheroes, whatever you want to call them. I made a thumbnail that featured the two of them. And yeah, so if you haven't seen that video, try to take a look at it because it's a way of pushing back at this negative narrative about the Sussexes and Harry and Meghan going solo. They are responding to it. Now, some people don't like the idea of responding to this or that. Some people find it undignified. Some people think that it only encourages more abuse. But our Sussexes, our Harry and Meghan, they're not cowards. They're activists. And of course, you can do nothing and say nothing. You could just simply not respond. But that protection racket called the British tabloid media, they're not ever going to stop unless there are some laws in place that protects people from this type of electronic lynching, this electronic harassment. Unless there is laws in place to prevent this, they have no reason to stop, and they're not going to stop because they have a dual purpose, one of which is to uplift that institution called the monarchy, and the other is this vendetta against the Sussexes for daring to seek litigation as a way to deal with the treachery that happened beforehand. If you do not define yourself, your enemy will do that for you. And there's a rule in politics: never allow your enemy to define your character. All of that dignity that, let's say Hillary Clinton, all of that dignity, and what happened? They were the ones who defined her character. And right now, they're trying to do the same thing to Vice President Kamala. They're trying to define her character. You have to push back. And if you don't do it directly, hopefully you have someone who can do it effectively for you. Because after a while, people are going to believe it. And there's enough people that believe the worst about two people that have always been popular and always gotten on with people. But because the British tabloid media says otherwise, and they say it often, over and over again, that people are starting to believe it. I've had relatives and friends ask me questions that don't even make sense. And the only reason that happens is because of the tabloids. But I'm very fortunate. I'm very lucky. You might even say I'm blessed because I have people that trust me and believe in me enough that if I introduce a new person to the group, they accept that person because they trust me. If I say some policy or some issue is otherwise, they trust me because they believe in me. And to keep that trust, I work extremely hard never to let them down. If there's something wrong, I need to find it first and then fess up to it. Otherwise, there's a loss of integrity. So that's why when I respond to my family and my friends and I say, no, that's not what it is. But they said so. I said, no, that's not what it is. Don't let your enemy define your character. Yeah, absolutely. And there were a lot of people, a lot of squatties who thought that it was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. They shouldn't respond to this. They shouldn't say that. But as Harry said, after a year of silence, they wouldn't leave us alone. And then another year goes by, and they still won't leave us alone. So, what choice do you have than to push back? I'm sure Harry didn't want to have to write about that stuff in his book. He would rather the family accept responsibility for their wrongs. And likewise, they will accept responsibility for whatever it is that they have done wrong. And in both instances, a flat no response to an apology, right? They don't want to apologize, or should I say, they won't respond with an apology. And likewise, Harry said, if there is something that we have done wrong to you, please tell us what it is and we'll apologize. But they won't say. I think they won't say because there is nothing. They have no reason to apologize. Harry and Meghan don't need to apologize. It is the family that needs to apologize to them. And a lot of the royal reporters know it. A lot of these royal reporters know it. And there's a few of them that will, in a very roundabout way, fess up to it. But not enough, not clearly, and certainly not often enough. They need to tell the truth about the institution. They need to do it more often, and they need to say it in a very clear voice. Instead of saying, oh, there was mistakes on both sides, and so on and so forth, they need to try to bring Harry and Meghan back. No, that's not enough. Speak loud and speak clear. As a matter of fact, if you put as much energy into identifying the misdeeds of that institution, of the members of that family, if you identify it clearly and communicate it clearly, that might be enough. That might be enough. Even without the apology, if there is enough pushback from the press. And no more denials, no more leaking and briefing from the institution that might serve to smooth things over. But instead, there's more leaking, there's more briefing. And let me explain what a briefing is. Let me explain that. This is what I'm going to refer to as a briefing. If Harry comes over to the UK and there's a big announcement that sweeps across all of the various tabloids, from television to print, William is still angry and has no intentions on seeing Harry, right? And then you wait 24 hours and there's no mention from Kensington Palace that William didn't say that. Do you know what that means? William did say that. People said it on William's behalf. William wants the world to know that he's angry, he's upset, and he will never speak to Harry again. That is a brief. That is a leak and a brief. And as long as they continue to do that, it makes the royal family look petty. But one of the reasons why they do it is because, and Henry VIII said this a long time ago, that for a very weak individual, using terms like incandescent with rage and angry and all of those other tropes, using those terms makes a small person seem big, mostly to the eyes of people that are sycophants, that are fans and, cronies and such. But to the rest of the world, they look petty. People who got good sense knows that that's petty. But that is what has been happening almost on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis. Every time Harry makes a move, every time Meghan makes a move, there is something that is a talking point that starts from Kensington Palace, that comes from Buckingham Palace, but mostly Kensington Palace, but also Buckingham Palace. Well, Charles' diary is full. How about you just don't say anything and let people find out? No, they don't want to do that because they want to seem strong and decisive. It's bad for the brand. I don't know why they think that that's helpful. It is bad for their brand. Baby Sis Doll, thank you so much for the super chat. Abuse can only be stopped by exposing the truth. Yes. Thank you, Baby Sis Doll. Thank you. You have to call out the abuser. You have to call out the abuser. You see, that is what is so valuable about the Sussex Squad. Now, y'all done listened to me for about 20 minutes trying to say all that. And what happened? Baby Sis Doll said, abuse can only be stopped by exposing the truth. I could have saved my breath. Thank you very much for that. Absolutely. Yes, Heather Stroud says they want them back to isolate them and control them. Yep. They want to put those strings on them and make them sing for their supper. Yep. They want them to go and cut ribbons and expose plaques and stuff like that and not talk to leaders of the globe, leaders of the world. Thank you for that. So inside Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's new dynamic, a twin track approach is evolving, friends say. Well, again, this is a clapback. This is a pushback. Now, it is not officially from Harry and Meghan, but we don't know where this comes from. If this is part of a new strategy from the Sussexes to push back at those narratives that we've been seeing for the past few days, then I'm glad for it. I don't, even if it's not from them, I'm glad for it. I'm glad for it. I'm glad that there is something that counters the ridiculous talking points of the day. Mindy Kaling compares herself to Meghan Markle while cooking the best thing she's ever made in a new video. Well, that was in the People magazine. And what happened is she was cooking something, some type of, I think it was dumplings. She bought some frozen dumplings and such and such. And anyway, she went out to her garden and she started picking some vegetables. And she's like, look at me. I'm Meghan freaking Markle. And yeah, it's a really cute video. And well, anyway, they managed to make an entire article out of just a few words about Meghan, but still very cute. And it lets you know that maybe Mindy Kaling knows something about Meghan's up and coming, what do you call it, lifestyle show. So who knows? Maybe she might even be in it, huh? Anyway, it should be cute. Hey, Church Nelly, hope you're doing well tonight. Look at there. There's Willie Leaks up there protecting Kate from any type of infections, protecting her from the global pandemic, all whilst doing his dad dance at the Taylor Swift concert. Isn't that something? He brought his kids out to the Taylor Swift concert, right? Exposing them to all types of droplets that might be flying through the air, most of it coming out of his mouth. And of course, that is the way to protect Kate from any type of possible bugs or viruses that may be floating around the stadium. Yep. I wonder if he did his Caribbean hustle. Remember that dance he did that time where he was getting his groove on? Wonder if he did that dance, because you know he likes to shake a tail feather every so often. So let me see. Let me refresh your tea. May I? Let me refresh your tea. Where is it? Uh-oh, how come I can't find that? There it is. Let me refresh. Yeah, somebody let slip that facade, and next thing you know, they could not contain themselves. Yep. Cringe, cringe, cringe. And look at this. Here's another image of him protecting his wife and from all of those droplets and all those bugs and cooties and stuff that's floating around the stadium, right? And look at there. Somehow he managed to bring his beard with him and left his beard at home at the same time. Isn't that amazing? He's so rich, he has beards in two places, at home and at the stadium. Speaking of beards, what does that say? Oh, let me see here. I can't see the top of that one. Ah, there we go. It says, oh, not careful. Careful about, well, that. Let me see. June 21st, not careful. July 14th, not careful. July the 6th, not careful. July 26th, careful. You get it? So he could not go to Paris to support the British athletes, but he could go to a concert and two sporting events other than the Olympics because he wanted to protect Kate. Now, eventually, as a mother, she is going to, at some point, be in close quarters with her children. So even if she doesn't see Willie leaks from one day to the next, as there's been speculation about whether or not they live together, then surely she would at some point be close to her children. As a matter of fact, if you look at that purple dress, you know this was at the Wimbledon. She wasn't worried about all of those droplets at the Wimbledon. Huh? What if she would have threw back her head and laughed at absolutely nothing like she usually do? What if she would have threw her head back and maybe a seagull crapped down her throat? Huh? That could have happened. She could have got bird droppings on her face or something. But she decided to risk it all and go to the oh, that's gross. She decided to risk it all and go to the Wimbledon anyway. So you see, Prince William says he missed the Paris Olympics over feared he'd give Kate Middleton the cooties while she was on chemo. And yet Kate Middleton stepped out at Wimbledon amid cancer treatment. All the best photos. They wanted to make sure that you didn't miss it. And then, of course, there's William. Now, Cameron Walker, who is a real fanboy of William, says, new Prince William has revealed he didn't attend the Summer Olympics because he didn't want to risk catching the pandemic and bringing it home to his wife, Catherine. Oh, he's calling her Catherine instead of Kate. I understand the levels in Paris influence his decision. At the time, His Royal Highness was still receiving, Her Royal Highness was still receiving chemo. You guys, I heard absolutely nothing about any type of outbreak, any higher level of germs or viruses at the Paris Olympics. Not a whiff of it. None. I don't recall any athletes being sidelined because of it. Now, that ain't to say it didn't happen. And you know, at the Olympics, they gave them cardboard beds because those people, them athletes be humping like rabbits. And yet, they want us to believe that William didn't go for that reason. Just like William didn't go and support the Lionesses in Australia because it was such a long flight. Right? Remember that? William and Kate pick and choose when they will show up at any of these sports events. And at the cost of $500 million a year, the subjects of His Majesty King Charles III accept it no matter what. So they have no reason to stop because they get away with it. Speaking of getting away with it, officer charged over death of woman after royal escort crash. Wow. Police officer charged over death of 81-year-old woman hit by motorcycle escorting Duchess of Edinburgh. Remember that? Poor old lady was crossing the street and she didn't even get a chance to notice that this motorcycle was zipping by because they were in such a rush to take Sophie someplace. I don't know what the fuss was. I mean, Sophie is not a blood royal. She's not any essential government figure. She dresses like a fool. So what difference does it make whether Sophie gets there on time? It ain't gonna be that many people there in the first place. And there she is, a colonel. She is a colonel, an army colonel. Make that make sense. But it's happened before. Royal Rumble, receptionist claimed cop car carrying Sophie Wessex hit her Peugeot and drove off, leaving expensive repair bill. It's happened before. This poor woman couldn't even get her hair done because she had to pay to get that car fixed. This poor woman is walking around looking like a he-hank because she can't afford to get her hair done because Sophie Wessex people tore up her car and didn't even want to pay for it. Now, a moment police car driving Sophie Wessex turns and hit receptionist's car before driving away to leave her with repair bill of several £100s. That was enough to get her hair done. They got it on video, I guess. And there's poor Prince, what's his name? Edwina, married to that basic automobile just capable of getting you from point A to point B. That's right. The Ford Wessex, the Ford Fiesta, the Ford Wessex Fiesta, the Wessex Fiesta. Just basic transportation. Not much to look at. Very basic. Or I wonder if that collision with the receptionist happened because she was yelling. I wonder if it's because she was yelling at the help again, right? But remember, Meghan is the bully. The rest of the family, they just all sing Kumbaya and everything. But there's Sophie Wessex. She's wearing Bruce O'Fell, but the Countess of Wessex is feeling a little afraid, that is, Sophie's outburst at bodyguard outside bridal shop. She wasn't even in the family that good. And she up there yelling at this man like she ain't got no sense. All up in his face, wagging her finger at him and stuff. How common. What's that? Cookies and Cream said, Ford poot poot, putt putt, Ford putt putt. Yeah, Sophie Wessex all up in his face. I think maybe this was for willing. Oh yeah, it says it would seem that the nuptial nerves are con- aren't are not confined to Kate Middleton and her family. So yeah, this must have been 2011. Back in 2011. Oh, you know what? That's because she had been in the family for how long at that point? She had been in the family for almost 11 years and she was still the Countess of Wessex. It took about another how many years before she became a duchess? It took a long time. And she just snapping on everybody, wasn't she? Or maybe the emergency, maybe they keep running people down because they got to hurry up and get her to the hairdresser. What's really bad is that her hair looks about the same. I don't know what they did for her while she was at the salon. See there, Duchess Sophie spotted leaving Kate Middleton's hairdresser with new look ahead of coronation. That's a new look? That's a new look? I'd hate to see what the old look was. Wow. You know what? I don't know about you all, but if I found out that Kate Middleton was going someplace for a beauty treatment, that'd be the last place I go. I mean, look at what they've done for her. That'd be the last place I go. If I found out a salon was doing anything for Kate Middleton, I'd go someplace else. I'd rather have a kitchen beautician. And oh, you know what? I don't ask me where I found this photo, but check it out. I found the Queen Consort Camilla um, getting what's her name, Sophie. Sophie got stuck in a bit of a jam, and Camilla happened to be walking along and decided to help. Camilla is literally getting her out of a jam. Isn't that nice of her? Camilla's using them big, strong legs, all four of them, using them big, strong legs and that misplaced rear end. See how she was able to dig down real deep and pull Ford Fiesta out of that jam? That was really nice of her. Very nice. What a sweetheart. By the way, there's 1,000 people and only 428 likes. You guys, please make sure you are supporting Royal Sussex. If you're watching on television, please find your phone or tablet and go ahead and hit that like button. It helps keep the lights on. And as always, thank you for supporting Royal Sussex. There we go. Come on, hit that like button. I only see 428 likes. Okay, 436. It ought to be much more than that. Especially you all that are hate watching, hit the thumbs down. Please hit that thumbs down. Let me know how much disdain you have for Royal Sussex by pushing the thumbs down. Okay. Now, secret plans for King Charles' death are already tearing the royal family apart. Operation Menai Bridge is the code name for the plans related to the death of King Charles III. The name refers to a suspension bridge in Wales. The plan includes the announcement of his death, the period of official mourning, and the details of his state funeral. I don't know why they're pushing this, but seems like another diversion. Now, I haven't had a chance to check out the article because there's a bit of a paywall, but I will check it out and I will share it with you probably tomorrow. But I don't know. Charles seems to be doing very well, and he is going to partake in a trip to Australia. So he can't be that bad off, whatever's going on. But just remember the same two people that were accused of being racist are the same two people that had non emergency surgery, the same two people that didn't have cancer before they did have cancer, right? They're the same two people. The only difference is the older one, who you would imagine is in worse shape, has been working and around people even while going through treatment without any care or concern about catching any germs or viruses or anything. But the one who's younger and looks very fit and healthy, tan, and got new hair extensions and such, that person we've barely seen. She comes around about as often as Haley's Comet. Yeah. I have seen Haley's Comet more often than I've seen Kate Middleton since Christmas. So there you have it. Hello, Ivy here. Always hit the like button. Yeah, I'm on my way in. I know it is always. Oh, thank you, Ivy, and thank you so much for being so supportive to Royal Sussex. Really, really appreciate it. Oh, what was downloaded 43 minutes ago? What I miss? Oh, okay. Very, very good. I can't wait to see what it is. Let me take a look here. Okay. I'm looking. I don't see anything yet. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong person. Well, let me see. That's somebody else I can try. Hello, Ivy here. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Okay, let me see. Oh, I still don't see it. And you say it's oh, it's under podcaster Sussex Love. It shows him. All right. Well, oh, it's some behind the scenes of Harry in New York. Well, I did see that like 1 minute 3 second video. I did see that one earlier. Okay. Let me continue. I think I'm almost done, right? Yeah, I think I'm almost done. You know, this is a what do they call it, a GIF, one of those little short videos. And in the GIF, the crown was sliding across the top of the picture frames, going from Charles' head to William's head and back and forth. It was kind of cute. Oh, okay. Yeah, we still got this. So I think that's what I have left. Yes, I have Nacho, and then I'm done. So Nacho Figueroa's preview, LA venue. What is that? What is that? How do you pronounce that? Click, whatever. Click coat? What? I can never pronounce that. The world-renowned player talks Saturday's match. the history of the Will Rogers Park and his new Netflix docuseries. Okay, somebody had a question and answer with Nacho, right? Anyway, to many Argentine polo players, Nacho and I'm sorry, Ignacio is an Ignacio Nacho Figueroa's name has become synonymous with the sport. And the 47-year-old is one of polo's most recognizable faces. In 2011, he teamed up with Vouve Click, whatever, to bring polo to LA. Is that French? Vouve uh, Clicquot? Okay. And on Saturday, October 5th, those people that I just mentioned returned to Will Rogers State Historic Park. In addition to some fun in the sun and lively competition, the well-heeled crowd of sport fans, including stars like Robert Patterson and Charles Melton, will get to experience the new Sun Club and sip that name, Rich and Rich Rosé, newly launched champagnes intended to serve over ice or chilled, that you can also find locally at places like the Melbourne Dante Beverly Hills. Sure. Here's Figueres discussing the evolution of his popular polo match, what to expect at the 12th annual LA Games, and what viewers will learn from the new December Netflix docuseries Polo with Prince Harry. Okay. And all right. So I skipped most of the questions and I just went to a couple of things that I thought were relevant, like this one here. To many Argentine, wait a minute, is that the same thing? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong screen. So, how did you get into modeling? Did photographer Bruce Weber discover you? And Nacho says, so I was having dinner with Bruce and he thought, oh, it would be good to have you. At the time, they were using Penelope Cruz for the Ralph Lauren women's ad. So they thought it would be cool to have an Argentine polo player and Penelope Cruz. You can speak Spanish and you guys have fun. So that's how it started. I went to the office and I met Ralph and and then I spent 20 years working together, 15 fragrances later and Black Label. I have the best memories of Ralph. I always say that I never worked for a brand. I worked for a guy. Oh, I like that. I never worked for a brand. I worked for a guy. We used to have dinner a few times a year or lunches at his office. And he was a big mentor in my life. And we shot all over the world. So it wasn't just polo matches, it was everywhere from 99. Okay. So there you go. If you've ever wondered how Nacho got into modeling, there you have it. Oh, okay. So, Vouve or Vouve means window in French. So it's the window. Window what? What's the rest of it? Window what? uh okay, but what's the rest of it? I tell you what, I know exactly what to do because now I'm curious. Now I am curious. And when I get curious, you know what happens? Not much, but let me see. So I am going to find the proper pronouncement, the proper pronunciation. There you go. The proper pronunciation. Clico. Veuve Clicquot. Okay, so I'm detecting the language and I want them to say it in English. Okay, anyway, I've had enough of that. uh, Church Nelly, you are so bad. You are just terrible. You are just terrible. The places your mind, the places your mind goes. I'm telling you. If I was your mind, I would need penicillin right now. The places that your mind goes. I feel like I need to clean myself now. Anyway, so the last part of that is tell us about your Netflix docuseries Polo with Prince Harry that coming out. Archwell Productions, which is Prince Harry's production company, and what is that? Boardwalk Pictures for Netflix helped produce the show. Is coming out soon, December. This is like a drive to survive concept following a few players and understanding the life of a professional polo player, and getting behind the scenes. I'm very excited because I think that's what people really fall in love with. That if you did a portion of what Drives to Survive has done for Formula One, it would be amazing. So, and with that, you guys, I am done, except for one thing. Check it out. David Stewart is now the richest black man in America with an estimated $11.4 billion. Well, in that case, I'm glad I caught myself. I'm glad I caught myself. Well, yeah, so that is the $1 billion man, the wealthiest black man in America. I have said it so many times, and I'm going to say it again. Now, listen very carefully. Outside of Africa, it ain't too many places. There's only one place where you can find a self-made black billionaire. Yes, they have black billionaires in the UK, but they didn't make their money over there. They didn't make their money over there. Their money came from someplace else. So it's only one place in the world where you're going to find someone of African descent that becomes of billionaire status, self-made, money made in that country that is not part of Africa. And that's the United States. There's several black billionaires here. Several. It's something that is uniquely American. When I tell you that the American dream is live and well, There's only one country that I know of in the world where you can go from being the product of a broken home, a single parent. You could even be adopted. We had several presidents that were adopted. Gerald Ford was adopted. My point is that there are some things that are just not possible anyplace else. You can come from a broken home and poor, like Bill Clinton, and go on to become president of the United States, the most powerful person in the free world. That is something that is uniquely American. Any child born today has an excellent chance that they could actually be a president, a senator, just about anything they want to do. That is uniquely American. There are people who have come here as immigrants, and the next generation, billionaires, politicians, judges, whatever. Uniquely American. So, yes, it's a lot of stuff we get wrong. Yes, there's too many guns, there's too much drugs, there's too much of everything. One thing about the US is that we could abuse anything, too much of everything you could think of. But the possibilities are limitless. They really are. So, just saying. Just saying. Okay, and with that, you guys, there's the pronunciation I'm looking for. Vive Clicquot. Vive Clicquot. So okay, I forgot what the first pronunciation was. Anyway, thank you very much. And as always, love you guys. Thank you for supporting Royal Sussex. Thank you for your very generous contributions. And of course, your memberships to Royal Sussex. That means a lot. It's a way to measure the success of the channel. And also the amount of subscribers. All of those things mean a lot. So thank you very much. Thank you for trusting me to do this work. And thank you, moderators. As always, the Mod Squad, who makes this a safe space. Sometimes I go through and I try to see how many people have been blocked from the channel. And it's a huge number, which is why we don't have so many people in the comment section attacking us. Because when I say they get blocked, they get blocked. So there's not a lot of that on Royal Sussex comments. Every so often, there'll be somebody with a new account that comes through there and try to raise hell, but we get rid of them very fast. Because when there's good news, when there's anything going on, you want to have a place of community, not a place where you have to engage with the stuff that you run into every place else. So thank goodness that we have a safe space. I don't know who it was that told me when I first started Royal Sussex. They say, if you want the channel to grow, you got to get rid of the trolls. Block them. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't doubt. I didn't worry about, but that means more engagement. I didn't care. I just blocked them. It was the right call then, and it's the right call now. All that arguing back and forth, we don't need that. We do not need that. So anyway, good night. God bless. And I will see you all later or tomorrow, whichever comes first. And make sure you pray for the Sussexes, for the children, Mama Doria, each other, and each other's friends and family. And of course, friends that are family. All right. Good night.